Hello. Welcome to Friday Night Wrenching Live with Everyday RC. Go ahead and say hi if you're in here. So far we have 11 people in here. Welcome. Welcome to Friday Night Wrenching with Everyday RC Live. What's up, Trevor? How you doing? Good evening. Hey, Ricky. What's up, good buddy? Good to see you. How you doing tonight? Hey, Craig! Good to see you in here, too. Good. Hey, what's up, Anthony Arnold? So far, we got 20 people in here. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Friday Night Wrenching with Everyday RC Live. What's up, Nezzies? How you doing? What's up, Billy? Billy from Nezzies RC World. How you doing, buddy? Mr. 217 Sixable, how you doing? Behemoth, good to see you. I know it's late where you're at, buddy, right? You're in the UK, but thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll help you relax tonight. What's up, Joseph? How you doing? Brian Coble, RCBJs. How you doing? From Denmark. Welcome. Gerald Wilson, how you doing, buddy? That's good. We got 26 people in here. Let's see those thumbs up, guys. Jason Engelman, how you doing? Glad to see the Talion. It's one of my favorite RCs, and I can't get enough of mine. That's right. That's for sure. It's definitely an awesome... What's up, John? Good to see you in here, buddy. Yeah, the Arma Talion is definitely an awesome performing truggy. And I believe it's the same thing as the Team Durango DX8, I believe. A lot of the parts are interchangeable, so I'm wondering if Arma bought the rights to that design and applied it to the Talion, because it's pretty much the identical parts if you look them up. What's up, Noes? How are you? Good to have everybody in here tonight. Good to see everybody. So yeah, if you look up the body and a couple of the other parts, they're the identical vehicle, but I've been doing some upgrades on this truck here and there. As you can see, I got a brand new chassis, and I got the chassis wrap, the vinyl chassis protector on the bottom there, and I have the Voltage Hobby aluminum skid plates on there, and I'm waiting on a couple of other few parts coming from Canada, from GKA Customs, and if you're not familiar with them, you should go check them out. And they make some beautiful billet aluminum parts for the Arma Talion, Creighton, Nero. So I have some parts coming in for the Talion and the Nero. So I can't wait to get those in. I was hoping to have them in by tonight, but unfortunately they didn't come in, and I think they got to go through customs in order to get to me over here in the States. So I've just been tinkering around with this truck. I got a few parts here, and by the speaking of John, my good friend Bodigel over there, he had donated to me. I was hanging out with him today, and he had these Duratrax wheels here that he had given to me out of the kindness of his heart, and I would like to thank you, John, for that. And right before I went live, guys, I just dyed these in RIT dye. So for those of you that don't know what RIT dye is, this is RIT dye. It's clothing dye that you can use to dye plastics. This is royal blue, although I did use black in order to dye these. And in case you're wondering the part number on these are the part number that my good friend John donated to me. This is a 1/8 truggy wheel by Duratrax. And I had them laying on my parts wall for a while, and I wanted to be able to utilize them, whether it being bashing or adding them to this new, fresh build that I'm doing right here. So I did some research. I went over to my local hobby shop, Track Day Hobbies, over on Long Island near me, and they matched up a nice wheel matchup for these tires. And I had my eye on these X-Cons right here, Duratrax X-Cons, and this is the C2 compound. And we did some research because I wanted to find out exactly what tires fit on these wheels. I wanted to go with a Proline wheel, but I don't believe the Proline wheels. I wanted to go with a set of Badlands because they have a very durable tread pattern. But unfortunately, the Badlands will not mount to these Duratrax wheels. So I went with the X-Cons. They were the most durable tread pattern I could find through Duratrax, and these are the C2 compound. In case you're wondering of the part number on that, This is the truggy tire that I went with, and as you can see, 1/8 scale truggy tire. It's the C2, which is supposed to be a little bit stiffer of a compound, good for grass and mud and wet gravel. I guess it's just a little bit more of a durable compound, just because I'm going to be using it for bashing, and I'm sure these tires on the track handle perfectly, but for bashing, they're probably going to get worn out really quick, so I just figured I'd mess around. I was going to glue them tonight for you guys, but I noticed something after I got them out of the package, and I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there that could answer this question for me right now, is two of them came with, it might be hard to see, two of them came with this style foam, and the other two came with this style foam. When I have them mounted on the wheels, they feel exactly the same, but before I glue them up, I want to talk to Duratrax. I'm going to give them a call and see if I can get another 2 foam inserts that are like these, so all 4 will match. Hey, what's up, Jack Chase? Good to see you in here, buddy. Welcome to Friday Night Wrenching with Everyday RC Live. Good to have you in here, buddy. Yeah, so this is what I decided to go with. So I was going to just pop them on here to show everybody. This is going to be the first time that I mounted them because these were bright white. These rims were as white as this work table right here. So I just got them right out of the RIT dye. As most of you know, that you can use RIT clothing dye to dye plastics. And I didn't think that this was a dyeable plastic, but it turned out I let it sit for over an hour in some pretty hot water. And it took the black color pretty good. And like I said, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I don't know if I'm going to really bash them or, you know, just keep them on this Talion. But I think I'm going to use them for bashing around. So I wanted to change up the look of them a little bit. So I didn't want to go too crazy, but I did want to dye them black. I think the black just looks a little bit nicer. And it's going to fit the theme that I'm going with on this Talion. So let's see what they look like mounted with the black wheels. They look pretty cool. So I'm going to get all 4 of these on the wheels, and then I'm going to tinker around, do some wrenching on the Talion. What's up, Ultimate Traxxas fan? How you doing? Yeah, so these are the Duratrax 1/8 scale truggy wheel with the 1/2 inch offset on the Duratrax X-Cons with the C2 compound. Yeah, so they look pretty cool. So let me mount up the rest, and I gotta take into account which foams are which, so keep these together. What's up, Luis? How are you, buddy? We got 28 people in here. Let's get some more thumbs up, guys. Come on, we should have at least 28 thumbs up. How's everybody doing tonight? I appreciate you all hanging out with me tonight on Friday night, doing some wrenching. If you're over there in your RC world and you got something to work on, throw it up on the bench and tinker along with me, you know? That's what it's all about. Got some time to hang out here, so make sure everything feels good. I really like the look of these. We're going to see what the difference is going from these to the stock Arma Talion wheels and tires. I'll show you the difference in a second. But there's something else I want to show you after I get these mounted up. And I'm pretty happy with how well the plastics took the dye. At first I didn't think it was taking the dye that well, but here on camera it looks pretty dark, and I'm happy with that. I thought it might show a little light because it isn't that good of a dyeable plastic. Not that porous like you would think of A-arms and stuff like that. Yeah, the only thing, John, is the black shows a little bit more of the imperfections. You can see the lines on the tires. But other than that, you know, the white was able to hide some of these imperfections along the edge here, but they still look good. And if they're going to be a bashing tire, it's a good price point wheel and tire combo for bashing. I mean, they're not really that expensive, Duratrax, so it's pretty cool. So I want to thank you, John. Thank you for that donation, man. Good-hearted guy. Go check out Bodegel. If you're a nitro gas guy, even if you're not a nitro and gas guy, go check out his channel. Might influence you to get into the nitro aspect of the hobby or the gas aspect of the hobby. You guys should appreciate that a little bit more as well, you know. You should appreciate all aspects of the hobby. Yeah, so that looks great, man. Yeah, so this is cool. I'm going to compare these to the stock Arma Talion wheels and tires in a moment, and you're going to see the difference, and it gives it a 1/2 inch more wheelbase, so it's pretty cool. With that 1/2 inch offset, it gives it a more rugged look, so that's pretty cool. But I'll show you these in a second. I got one more thing I'd like to show you that I got here, is that I got the rear A-arm protectors, drive shaft protectors, because anybody that owns a Truggy knows that your rear A-arms and drive shafts get blasted when driving. Just the differential action, you know, usually you have a lighter weight or a light center diff weight, and your front wheels tend to diff out slightly, and that kind of happens on this Truggy and a lot of other Truggies. You can adjust that with the diff weight oils, but even still, even on my low C5T, any vehicles, you know, your rear A-arms and drive shafts get blasted, and I was looking for a good option. These I got on eBay for really cheap. They were like $12 or $15, and they're custom made. They're made out of a thick piece of plastic, but they have these cutaways so they sit flush up against the A-arm. And for the price, I figured why not pick them up. I was going to pick up some carbon fiber and cut something out myself. I was going to try and modify something out of plastic. I was even thinking about getting the Team Chase Low C5T rear drive shaft protectors and mounting them on here. That would have been pretty sick. But then I found these, and they're custom built, and they come all the way into the rear differential. What's up, Brian Coble? How you doing? Oh, I already said hi to you. I think you're saying hi to somebody else. But I appreciate, you know, everybody hanging out tonight. So let's drop it down. I will be getting a new body very soon for this. So this is the Arma Talion in stock form here. Almost stock form. You know, so that's the stock wheel and tire setup on there. And this is the Duratrax setup. So you could see there's a nice difference there. And you'll see once I get everything done. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get these wheels and tires off of the vehicle. I'm going to install these rear A-arm protectors, and then we're going to get the wheels and tires mounted up so you guys can get an idea of what everything's going to look like. What's up, Chew? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out tonight. This is the Arma Talion. It's basically a 1/8 scale Truggy. Now while I'm working, guys, in between me sitting behind the camera, you guys will talk amongst yourselves, because it's going to be kind of hard for me to keep track of the comments and work on the truck at the same time. But I love this, and I love being able to interact with you guys and hang out. And like I said, if you guys are wrenching on anything in your RC world, pull it up on the bench and hang out. You know, it would be cool. We're all hanging out in our own RC worlds, magically through the use of YouTube, or through the magic of YouTube, shall I say. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I got a lot of plans for this vehicle. And Arma vehicles really don't need much, but there are some companies that are starting to make parts for them, and I figured I'd give them a shot. Oh yeah, 1/5 scale gas RCs are fun, that's for sure. Now you know that I do run MAXAMPS in here, so let me give you a glimpse of the inside. And I usually run two 3S MAXAMPS 5450s. Let me see if I could turn them around for you. 5450, 11.1 volt. These are 150C. So these are pretty powerful batteries. Oh, they're 120C, I'm sorry. Still pretty powerful, very high C rating. And this thing boogies. Let me tell you, this thing boogies on 6S. And it's an insane handling Truggy. And it's pretty cool. I will be getting an billet aluminum chassis braces from GKA Customs. Hopefully I'll be getting those soon. But right now I'm going to install these live here for you. I don't know how this will go, but this is what it's all about, Friday night wrenching. So here, I'm going to sit here in my stool, see if I can sit behind the camera here, kind of watch some of your comments as I'm doing some wrenching here. I'll try my hardest, guys. And this is real simple. You know, I figured I'd get my feet wet a little bit and into hanging out live with you guys. Spencer Hess, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you in here. Welcome to Everyday RC Live. Friday night wrenching. Pull up a vehicle, buddy. Hang out. You have a question about the 2200 model Monster? This over here. Just give me a moment here. And of course, I'm wrenching on my Cow RC mat. I love these mats, guys. If you ever have a chance to pick yourself up a Cow RC pit mat, they're definitely worth the investment. They're awesome tools to help you work on your vehicles. They're magnetic. They help you out, and they're awesome. So I don't think I have to pull off any more than that to mount this. I believe I have to pull off this inner screw for the sway bar. Nice and easy. All right, that's a very long screw right there, as you can see. You're working on your X-Max? That's awesome. Oh, you need your help putting the motor on the Rustler. Well, if you want to put a 2200 kV motor on the Rustler, I will tell you that you have to get the Integy aluminum transmission housing, and you have to modify it. There are other transmission housings that you can use. You might have to do some research, but I can tell you what I used. And in order to mount a 2200 or a 2650 can to the Rustler, you need a aluminum transmission housing, and I use the Integy. So there you go. So this is how this works. As you can see, there's two little bumps right here. Can I zoom on? Oh, I can zoom on YouTube Live. Wow, see, I just learned something. This is like my 5th YouTube Live here, right? And now I'm just learning I can zoom. That is awesome. So as you can see, right here, there's two little bumps here on the A-arms. So to compensate for that, they actually routed out two holes here to make up for that. So technically this should sit flush right up against there. Now I'm going to pop my A-arm hinge pin screw through. I'll get this nut started if I can, just to hold everything in place. Hold on, guys, let me zoom out. Sorry about that. See, we're learning together here. That's awesome. That's awesome. See, so I'm learning here. That gives you some better quality image of what's going on here. And now you're going to install this back into your sway bar. Set my torque setting on 0 here because it's kind of on an angle and I'm not using a ball end. I think we're good right there. And now that's tight. All right, so we got one installed already. That was pretty easy, like I said. And that's going to definitely protect it. I love how it's got the cutaway in there. And it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? You like it? If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you like what's going on here. I definitely suggest if you have an Arma Talion, go check it out. I do not have any 3S lipos for sale. I'm sorry. What shields do I prefer? On what vehicle are you talking about? You just got your X-Max? Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, I cleaned it up. It's got a brand new chassis. I beat the crap out of this thing. And you know what? Let me show you guys my old chassis just so you can see what kind of abuse I put this thing through. So, as my friend John over at Botagel would say, here's my trophies. Yeah, so I really drove this truck a lot, and I had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, for a brushless truggy, it's awesome. And I just wanted to freshen it up, clean it up a little bit, and, put a new chassis on there. I did put the chassis protector, as I showed you guys earlier. Maybe some of you did not see it, but I put the vinyl chassis protector, and I have the Voltage Hobbies aluminum skid plates. That's right, John, trophies. So yeah, and I believe that this company that made the chassis protector is the same company that made the chassis protector for your Losi 5T. So they make chassis protectors for a lot of vehicles. So okay, so let's move to this side here. I'm gonna have to try and move this camera around. John, you gotta try and do this, bro. I got you that tripod, right? Dude, throw your phone up on there. Do a YouTube live. Show everybody what you're doing, man. But you got to do it in some prime time. You can't do it at like 12 o'clock midnight. Oh, they're going to make a chassis protector for the MTXL. That's awesome. Well, Shu, I can't give away the exact gear ratio. That's just something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. We can't give away all the answers. Just like in school, you got to do your homework and you got to find some of those answers on your own. So here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and get a better camera angle here. I don't know if I can. So I'm going to do it from the side here, and you guys will just have to wait till I'm done to see the finished product. Hopefully I don't knock over the camera. That would be awesome. So I hope everybody had a good week out there. Oh yeah, and I just wanted to let you guys know that yesterday was a pretty special day. It's official now, guys. All 31 of you are going to find out for the very first time right now is that it's official. Go to everydayrc.com. I finally got my domain name. And now it's official. I own everydayrc.com. So if you type that in your headline, it'll bring you right to my website, which is pretty cool. So I own everydayrc.com and everydayrc.us. So go check it out, and that'll give you all the updates of what's going on in my life. And it's basically just it's a compilation of everything that I utilize, all my social media, whatever I do on YouTube, and it's just basically my website, everydayrc.com. We'll see what it'll turn out to be in the future, but right now it's a huge start. So go check it out when you have a chance. You can find out about everything, the merch. You can buy t-shirts, stickers on there. You can stay in contact to everything. Even if you're not on social media, you can check in. I have a live feed of my social media, of what's on my Facebook, what's on my Instagram. And it's all thanks to my brother, Steve Licata. I just want to thank him. And he's a web designer, and he put in a lot of hard work and time to design that website for me. So I just want to thank him for all his hard work. And, I couldn't have done it without him. So go check out everydayrc.com when you have a chance. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's good when you have a brother that knows how to do web design, that's for sure. And he did a lot of work. A lot of it, I learned a lot just by seeing the things that he did, but he did everything on his own. But just some of the things that he was doing, the coding and everything that goes into that was pretty amazing how he made it all work and how it makes all the links work and everything. So it's pretty cool. So there we go. They're both installed. Look at the difference now, huh? So we got some rear drive shaft protectors there. Pretty sick. I just love how they contour the inside there. That's cool. That's cool. What do you guys think? You think it looks good? Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So next thing I'm going to do is mount up these tires and give you kind of a finished look of what's going on with the vehicle right now. Unfortunately, like I said, I was hoping to get those GKA custom parts in by now. Thanks, I appreciate it, Shen Shenlanko. How are you, Shenlanko? Thank you very much. So I'm looking at the camera from an angle here. Let me just grab a drink of water real quick. PhDRC, what's going on? Good to have a doctor in here. No, it's not a 52 tooth gear. Anthony Husband, what's going on? Oh, what kind of RC stand is this? I get this question a lot. This is actually not not an RC stand. This is a guitar footstool. Go on eBay and type in the word guitar footstool. They are the best thing that I've come across. They're cheap. These are $10 each. Now, you might know that there's an RC company that makes the same exact thing, but the only difference is that they lay flat. As you can see, these, no matter what setting you put it in, it's always on an angle. But I think for a display, having your trucks on the display, your vehicles on display, it kind of gives it an angle, kind of gives it more of an action type of look. But the only difference between the RC version and this is that the RC version always lays flat, no matter what position it's in. But this is guitar footstool. Type it in on eBay, and they're like $10 each. The RC version is like $40-$50, guys. It's ridiculous. So I have a lot of these. I probably have about 20 of these, you know, because they're so inexpensive, and they keep... I'm a big advocate of keeping your vehicles off their wheels. You know, you really shouldn't store your vehicles for long periods of time on the wheels. It ruins the tire, ruins the foam. Plus, the next time you go out and drive it, now you're going to have a flat spot on your wheels. And I'm not a big fan of it. It takes all the weight off the suspension. So every single one of my vehicles is off its wheels. And that's what I suggest doing. So yeah, go check out this on eBay. It's guitar footstools. So let me get the new wheels and tires installed. But first, let's show the difference between... I can already feel a difference. I will say, though, I will give Arma tons and tons and tons of credit. This stock wheel and tire combination is great. These wheels and tires are still good, and I'm going to keep these in service. I'm going to put these on other vehicles and drive them around. For a stock wheel and tire, these have performed beautifully. They are a little bit slippy. They don't have too much grip, but it gives so much of a fun driving aspect to this truck. So big props go out to Arma for putting out a stock wheel and tire combination like this. I've put a lot of time on these, and you can see there's still a lot of tread left on here. I mean, and I've really beat on this and driven it in some really tough terrain, rocks, gravel, everything, and they've held up wonderfully. You know, but I just wanted to change it up a little bit, and I will say that these Duratrax are definitely a step up. Very similar, almost exact in size, although the Duratrax are slightly bigger, as you can see. And the tread pattern is not as knobby as, you know, as the Arma vehicle. And I know that these aren't going to be that durable. These are meant for a racetrack, but this is the only tire that would fit here on this Duratrax wheel. So I really like the X-Cons. They were the only tread pattern that I really liked by them, and I think they look really good. So compared to the stock Arma Talion, I think it's definitely a good upgrade here. But with this 1/2-inch offset, you're going to see a difference here, and I'm going to show you the difference between, you know, the stock. I wish I had the rears on and then the fronts, and I could show you the difference in the offset, but it gives it a wider stance, and it's pretty cool. So you can't really tell here, so I think I might just mount them up. But this is the Duratrax with the 1/2-inch offset. You can see it's spaced out over here. All right, PhDRC. Everybody go check out his YouTube channel. He's saying he's got some really cool stuff coming through. So, yeah, as soon as you're done over here, go check him out. I'll be checking you out, buddy. I'll see what you got going on. I'm always interested in new RCers and what they got going on. But it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see that these wheels are kind of protecting the axle carriers a little bit. So, and on this side, you can see about 1/2 inches exposed. So that's your offset right there. You're gaining about an offset 1/2 inch offset, and I think it's going to help the handling out a lot. And this truck is already fun to drive to begin with, but I can only imagine what it's going to drive like with these Duratrax wheels. And they're sticky. I mean, look at how sticky they are. They're actually sticking to one another here. So, you know, they're definitely more sticky than the stock tires. And I did just dye these. These were white. These were white wheels. And right before I went live, I dyed them black with RIT clothing dye. Now this is royal blue. I do have some plans to do with this royal blue. You know, I got some rims and tires in the other day that I showed. I don't know, I might have some plans with the royal blue, but I dyed these black right before I went live, and I really like the finished look, right? Look really nice. So I was gonna glue them up live, but there's a difference with the foams. 2 of them came with different kind of foams. I don't know if 2 of them are older, and then Duratrax just released a different style foam, but I want to contact Duratrax before I glue these 100%. So I have the 2. As a matter of fact, I wanted to change it because these are the different style. I believe these are the original style foam inserts that are in here. So I'm going to put those in the front, and I'm going to mount everything up here and show you guys what it looks like with these on here, which is pretty cool. Just need to get a wrench here real quick. Oh yeah, getting a wrench. So I just want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out. Pretty cool. We got 27 people in here. Thanks for everybody coming and hanging out here. It's pretty cool. Wrenching here Friday night. I really wish I had those GKA custom parts. That would be awesome. Gonna mount these up. Oh, what did I say I was gonna? Sorry guys, I'm not looking at the comments at the very moment, so talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back to the camera right after I install this stuff. And I'm with the 1/2 inch offset, you need kind of a longer wrench to give you a little bit more reach in there. So that's why I'm using this tool here. I'm really liking how they're looking. Just that gives it definitely a more aggressive look, which is awesome. Nice and easy, not over tight. I'm going to have some big plans for this vehicle coming soon. All right. So let's drop you down a little bit. You ready? You going down. There we go. What do you guys think about that angle? Oh yeah. X cons. Pretty sick. Yeah, the white lettering looks pretty cool. Thanks, John. Yeah, they came out good. I didn't think they were going to come out this dark, but they look pretty dark on camera. Yeah, they look pretty good. Not bad for a bashing rim, right? Yeah, you got to try that sometime, man. So there's the Arma Talion right there with the Duratrax wheels and tires. Thank you to my good friend John Bottigel. Appreciate it, good buddy. Thank you to for MAXAMPS for the batteries. Bet you never would have thought you'd hear those two names one after another. So, yeah, man. Yeah, John. Anytime, man. You can dye plastics. That's what a lot of people don't know. Anything light in color. And I do have some plans for the future. So, how long are we into this right now? We're at 35 minutes. So, I'm going to end it at the 40-minute mark. That's another 4 more minutes. Thank you, Alexander. I appreciate it. There's a new body coming soon for this Arma Talion, and I got some other billet aluminum parts coming in, so I will be putting out a nice edited video on this build that I've been documenting along the way. And that's it, man. But I will be putting out a nice video after I finish with all the upgrade parts. I was hoping I would get some of those aluminum billet parts in by today, but they got to go through customs, so maybe tomorrow, maybe next week sometime. But, you know, I just wanted to share with you guys what's going on. And I'm going to end this at 40 minutes, so we got another 3 more minutes left in here. Thanks, John. I appreciate it, good buddy. Just hanging out, sharing my RC world with everybody. So, real quick, because I know everybody was digging it the last time, I'm going to drop it in, and I got some plans. So this is a sneak peek that those of you that are watching right now will get to know about. So there we go. We got the Traxxas X-Max with the new Proline Badlands MX43s, right? So speaking of dyeing plastics, these beadlocks are light gray or white. And to be totally honest, Proline did not do a very good job with mounting these beadlocks and torquing in these screws. Now, they might have torque setting on their equipment, but they need to know well enough to set the depth of each one of these screws the same, no matter what your torque settings are set on, especially when you're going into plastics. So I will be unmounting these wheels and tires, and on the topic of dyeing plastics, that's what we will be doing with these beadlocks with the royal blue. So I will be dyeing these beadlocks right here with the royal blue, and I'm going to be getting some stainless steel hardware to go on these beadlocks, and I think it's going to really finish off the look on this truck big time. It's going to look beautiful. So that's another thing that you can use the clothing dye to dye as well. So that's another good idea. So yeah. So we got about 1.5 minutes left, guys. So any last things you want to ask? Any last requests? Any last words before I get out of here? And I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday evening. Get out of here and go wrench on something. Go make it happen in your RC world. Go pick up one of your RC cars and start wrenching away. Go start checking out. What's up, Josh? Good buddy. Good to see you in here, man. It's all right, Josh. You go back and watch it, buddy. I tried to not make it too long, but of course it went a little bit longer. But yeah, you could see all the stuff I just did to my Arma Talion. Nothing crazy, just hanging out here on a Friday night. And I love that new video that you get put out, buddy. Everybody go check out Bar Harbor Basher's last video about his custom build that he just did on his Axial bomber, I believe, right? Why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about it, Josh, before I go? Well, go check out his channel and go check out his latest video, because I was pretty impressed with it, man, and it just looked awesome. And I didn't even know that there was X-Max in that title. I just went and watched the video, and then I saw a couple of comments, but it was a beautifully shot video, and it was awesome, man. I really enjoyed that, and I want to see more of that from your channel, man. It'd be awesome. But it was pretty cool, man, and great work on that build, by the way. So, alright guys, we're here at the 40-minute mark. These are the Proline Badlands MX43s on the Traxxas X-Max. Yeah, John, just go watch it, man. It's a straight axial 1/5 scale Castle creation. It's basically his own crazy creation. It's a 1/5 scale axial power crawler. Can I call it a power crawler, Josh? Because, I mean, it's the craziest rock crawler, monstrous thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's sick. So go watch that video, and you guys will get an idea of what he built, and it's all custom built. So it's pretty cool, and it's powered by the Castle censored system, I believe. It does 60. He's got it set up where you can lower it down and turn it into a speedrun vehicle, or you can raise the suspension and go rock crawling, rock bouncing, I would say, or power crawling, right? I would call it like power crawling, but the articulation on that thing is absolutely nuts. I think I've seen it with like 2 Monster Energy cans like stacked like this high, and the articulation on it probably has more than the X-Max. So go check out his video. And yeah, that's it, man. I don't want to make it too long. I got to get back to the family. Got to go make things happen. I got to go to work tomorrow and make it happen myself. But I just wanted to share you the little stuff that I'm doing here on a Friday night. It's all in the control of the throttle. That's it, man. You're an awesome driver, and that thing is awesome. I would love to see it in person. Maybe I'll make my way up in your way one of these days and go check it out, if you'll have me over there. Or maybe I'll go check out King Mountain RC up there in your area and go hang out one day. But we'll see. But I just want to thank all you guys for watching. I appreciate it. We ran 2 minutes past where I wanted to, but it's always good talking to some good RC brothers. And believe me, I could stay here all night and talk to you guys, but something tells me that the wife wouldn't be having it. So, but with that being said, guys, I hope you're all making it happen in your RC worlds. And for now, this is Chris, the Everyday RC Guy in Wrenching Land, saying thanks for watching. Have a great night, guys.